and welcome back to the Slugcast. I know it's been a while since we had our last one, but today we got a really great show planned for you guys, because I got a special guest with me, Christopher Dino, my good friend, Chris.
Hey,
Thanks
James.
for coming on.
Thanks for having me on the
For your
Slugcast.
first appearance for the Slugcast, and today we have a very special topic coming for you guys.
We're talking all things Shining today. Stanley Kubrick's 1980 interpretation of the Stephen King novel, The Shining.
So, there's a lot of unexplained events in this movie.
A lot of unexplained events. You know, very ominous, scary, unpredictable film.
Kubrick really kept the audience guessing throughout the entirety of the film, and even in its ending, there's still unanswered questions that...
Well, I feel like the ending of The Shining is even the most questioned part of the movie.
Yeah, probably.
You know, main character, Jack Torrance, played by Jack Nicholson, appears in that July 4th ballroom photo from over 60 years in the past, and that just goes unexplained.
There have been many different interpretations on what that's supposed to mean, and Kubrick has even said it suggests that Jack is a reincarnation, but see, even that's a masterful response.
I have read that myself.
That's a masterful response in
Masterful
itself.
response.
Because he's still keeping the audience guessing, so he's still not giving a definite answer.
Right, and, you know, I found this to be inconclusive. You know, Stephen King, the original creator of the story, I wanted to find his opinion on it, so I tried to dive a little deeper. I did some research. I learned that they shot a scene where Jack Torrance, main character, finds a basement. He goes into the basement of the hotel, and he finds a scrapbook. Scrapbook is full of news clippings and pictures of all the awful horrors that have gone on in the Overlook Hotel. And at the very end, he finds that photo that they use in the end scene. And
Was he in it?
He sees his own face in the photo, and then he goes crazy. Kind of putting
sense.
a nice boat, because that's how it's written in the book. But against the will of his advisors, Mr. Kubrick decided to cut that scene from the film.
I think from Kubrick's perspective, though, I mean, what a great way to mess with the audience and keep them in suspense.
Keep them in suspense. Yeah, it's very true. It's very true.
And he had many different ideas, and then another idea that I saw, which I thought was very interesting, was that everybody in the movie had special supernatural abilities. That's why everybody was kind of seeing different things throughout the hotel, you know what I mean?
Correct.
Like Jack and what's the wife's name?
Wendy Torrance.
Wendy Torrance. And they all had these special abilities. And then by the end of the movie, Kubrick's trying to trick us into thinking that we're seeing things that aren't really there. Like Jack's face, you know what I mean? So, you know, like, we saw, like, different things throughout the movie. So it's trying to say, like, that we also see something else that's not there.
Wow.
It's a weird way to... I read it online. I don't know how much slack it's got, but it's definitely an idea.
Definitely an interesting theory. I found almost a counter to that theory.
Yeah.
Another scene that was shot, that was cut from the film, is a scene at the very, very end. It would have replaced the 1980s era zoom up on the photo when Wendy and Danny escape in the snowcat. After Jack freezes to death, they meet the hotel's manager, Olman, Mr. Ullman. And he pretty much proceeds to tell them, like, oh, you know, you guys were just going crazy, you had a little bit of cabin fever, you were taken away from society for too long. And then, you know, right as the audience begins to question everything they saw, you know, maybe all that stuff was a hallucination, Ullman hands the ball that rolled out of room 237 to Danny. Thus for kind of saying, like, yeah, all that stuff did happen, you know, like, it's crazy in there.
Yeah.
You don't know what to expect.
Where'd he get that tennis ball from? So I want to know.
Yeah, where did he get that tennis ball?
Was he always there too?
Most likely.
Which shows that a hotel is like a destination for reincarnation of guests, maybe.
A cycle of murder
and violence
of son by father. You know, it just draws caretakers back to the Overlook. You know, there's really nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
This really comes to fruition in the film, in the scene where Jack feels as if he had been there before.
Yeah. oh, I love it here. Don't you?
Yeah, how much he likes it there, how comfortable he is, combined with, those deleted scenes, just shows that Jack's been at the Overlook before, and he'll be there again.
Yeah, that's true. But Delbert Grady, that's the butler, right? I feel like Charles Grady, the murderer, was the reincarnation of Delbert Grady. And that's why Delbert's like, I don't know what you're talking about, sir. I didn't kill anyone. Because remember, Delbert Grady was the butler, and then Charles Grady was the murderer.
It goes from Delbert to Charles, then to Jack, and, it's just...
The cycle will continue on until, who knows, maybe the destruction of the Overlook.
Well, we also have to hypothesize about, how Jack failed in his quest to continue that cycle. Was the cycle broken with the escape of young Danny?
That is true. It could very well have been broken with Jack's dead body in that maze.
Yes. Another interesting internet theory I did a little bit of research on is the absorption theory. It strays a little bit from, reincarnation of characters, characters being other characters. But it says that given the fact that, the hotel was built upon an Indian burial ground, that plays a large role into the things that they see, and, that picture frame just fills up over time as the Overlook Hotel claims its victims.
That's an interesting way to think about it, but, the only thing I'd be confused on there is, nothing else has shown us that it's been absorbed.
Yeah, because my main question is, as soon as Jack dies, they cut to a scene of him in that photo. But if the absorption theory is true, where's Dick Hallerman in that picture?
That is true.
Where's Dick Hallerman in that picture?
He's not in that photo.
He is not in that photo.
It's a loose.
It's loose. It's loose. Definitely loose.
But I was thinking, Dick Hallerman. What was I gonna say about Dick?
Dick Hallerman was creepy.
Well, yeah, he was creepy.
He was creepy.
I feel like it was essential for him to be killed in the movie, because as Kubrick said, a scary movie's got to have a death in it. Come on, I'm there. I kind of wanted to see at least one.
Yeah, it might have even waited too long to kill somebody.
Yeah, it took a good while. Kept me in suspense. It was on my toes.
Yeah, because all those beautiful tracking shots used following, Danny's big wheel, really bringing the hotel to life. The audience was waiting for that jump scare, waiting for that death, for Jack to really do something crazy. And, he really keeps us in suspense for a while there, Mr. Kubrick.
And, the craziest part about that picture, I think, is if you watch the movie carefully, you'll see that picture is not in any other scene. It only makes its way that last scene when they zoom in on it.
Because that's definitely not the only scene there in that room.
Yeah, exactly. Throughout the different cuts, if you go through, you shall see that picture is not there until the very end of the movie.
Wow,
which
that
adds
is very interesting.
Which adds many more questions.
Even more questions.
Which just adds to Kubrick's intelligence in writing and directing and shooting this film. Fantastic.
So only got about a minute left of allowance here on the podcast.
So we're going to take it to our sponsors, Sleepy's Mattresses. Always been a great part of our show. Always been giving back, and we just want to give a great shout out to our people at Sleepy's.
Sleepy's sleep great.
Then we also who's the other one? That's right, Gatorade. Thank Gatorade for keeping us hydrated throughout our podcast. And there's nothing better than a glacier freeze while you're sitting here talking about things that you really enjoy.
I could go for a Riptide Rush right now. I know that, James.
So on that note, I think it's been a
just like to say
time.
Thanks for having me on here on the Slugcast.
It's been my pleasure. It has been my pleasure, and we will be getting back on again shortly. To all the Slugcast Nation that has been waiting out on us, we're working on things right now. We're a little busy in the championship almost, so got a lot of things going on. So hopefully we can get more episodes at you soon. Other than that, this is James from the Slugcast, and we are signing out.